This is Idiots with Opinions. Idiots may vary.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Todd Schlugamelk.
And it's Tuscan.
And we're here to
Just
give you
Tuscan.
the best content you've ever heard with Idiots with
That's
Opinions.
That's right. You thought the pinnacle of good content was like Game of Thrones. You're thinking House of Cards. You're thinking one of those great TV shows. Nah, this is the best thing you've ever heard. You're listening to it. It's right here.
Or your
playing
money
into
back
your earbuds.
guaranteed.
Well, hold on now. I don't like making guarantees, especially when those guarantees include giving people money that we never got in the first place.
Oh, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We
But
got
in
a
spirit.
sponsor. We don't have to give any of the money because
In
we have a
spirit.
sponsor.
Stick around till the end to hear a word from our sponsor.
He's got some important things to say. It's a special message from
He's
our
the greatest.
sponsor. He is the greatest. If you've never heard us before, we are a team of very professional journalists that find the craziest stories you've ever heard, and we relay them to you. I'm going to tell Tuscan a story that he's never heard, and he's going to tell me a story that I've never heard, and then it's going to repeat that process again, because we have 4 stories for you. And then you're going to leave this podcast a little wiser, a little brighter, and a little happier, hopefully.
Well, I don't know about happier. Some of these stories get, like, weird. Actually, I don't have any depressing stories today. I got a couple uplifting ones.
I have kind of a weird one, but it's got a good ending, I guess, depending on your morals.
Oh, we might have picked the same story.
Uh-oh.
But that's okay, because I picked 3 stories just in case that were to happen.
Good.
Now, if you haven't heard us before, once again, Todd and I are feeling a little under the weather, so our voices
Tuscan
are
has
gonna be a little bit
Ebola, and
lower.
I have the swine flu.
Yeah, and you know, there were like 80,000 people or something that died last year from influenza, which is crazy.
Yeah, I had somebody who was in
like
one of
that.
my classes who just had the
Who died
flu.
from the flu?
No, not
Yeah.
died, but she had the
okay.
flu, and it was her last semester of college, her senior year of
Yeah.
college. She got the flu, had to go to the hospital because she was so sick. This was early in the semester too, and they were like, yeah, you gotta take a semester off because you're gonna be here for
That
for a
bad?
while. Yeah, it was that bad. She had to
Wow.
stay there.
That's
in the
ridiculous.
hospital. Yeah, it was crazy.
But yeah, we're both a little under the weather, so if you hear us talking in kind of a lower, a little bit more sexy tone, you know why.
You know
Yeah.
it, baby.
Yeah, girl.
Tuscan, have you ever had a flu shot? Do you get flu shots regularly?
No, I don't get flu shots regularly. As a
Neither
matter
do
of
I.
fact, the only time I think I got one because I was required to, because I worked in a retirement home. But I think they only required it 1 year, and then after that I opted out. I haven't gotten a flu shot since. And I still work in food service, so you know, come see me, and I'll serve you a plate of the flu.
Fresh flu.
Yep.
Fresh off the
That's
grill.
what we're serving up here. Viruses made by Tuscan.
What doesn't kill you, well, it might kill you. Never mind.
They might kill you.
It could.
I'm really
Very
loving.
well
By the way, I got a remark on this. So Todd and I can't see each other. Obviously, he's in his apartment in Chicago. I'm out here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and you know we both got our own setup, and we're communicating via telephones. But I got this new setup here in my bedroom, and I used to have it where the microphone was on my left side and my computer was on my right. So if I wanted to look at the story, I had to like turn away from the microphone and like kind of try and keep my mouth up next to it while reading from the story. But now I have the microphone and the computer both directly in front of me.
That's
I don't know
good.
why I didn't think of this setup before, but it's perfect. And yeah, it makes me feel a little bit more professional, at least.
Yeah, that's.
I might not look it.
I could definitely hear earlier episodes when you would turn away and
Yeah.
it'd get significantly quieter.
And I could definitely hear that too.
Yeah.
Like when I'd listen back, because I do listen to our own episodes. You know, I'll go on
Yeah.
On the Apple Podcast and listen to us.
That's like Aziz Ansari listening to his own stand-up.
These jokes is dope.
References, people.
That's right. He was the greatest. So listen, Todd, you wanna start off our story? Why don't you give the one that we think we might have the same story?
Yeah, I was gonna go with that one first.
If we do, I'll
anyway,
do something else.
There was a man by the name of Moray.
Cool. We don't have the same.
We don't have the same story. Okay.
No, yeah, I don't know who Moray is.
Oh no, Stanley Sanderson.
Oh,
do we have the same story?
Nope.
Okay, cool. He, in the 1960s and 1970s, preyed on a string of young girls and was jailed for 7 years in 2015. Okay? Mm-hmm. But he was very sly in getting caught. Obviously, we would want him to get caught because he is an awful person. Convicted of raping 2 children and sexually assaulting 3 others. During a remorseless campaign of abuse. And they were calling him into court to sentence him, but he claimed that he was so obese that he couldn't get to court.
He couldn't get to court?
Yeah, and it delayed his court sentencing like a couple years, I'm pretty sure.
Are you serious? He got years of freedom because his fat ass couldn't get off the couch?
And so it was like the late Mr. Sanderson, because they didn't find him doing this for a long time, and so this was happening in like the early 2010s, and somebody wrote, the late Mr. Sanderson was registered disabled as a result of obesity and required to use a wheelchair and Zimmer frame to mobilize. So because of all of this, because he was registered as disabled, he was it was prolonging his sentencing. Well, at about 8:35 a.m., they found out that this man he had died of heart disease in prison. So,
good.
Because, it was basically, he was trying to cheat justice by claiming he was too fat to appear in court, and then he just died of heart disease. So,
well,
you get what you get. Karma.
That's right. If you are a sex offender who's going after little children, you will go to jail. And if you try to avoid going to jail by eating too much, you will become so fat that your heart gives out. Mm-hmm. So, good riddance, Mr. What was his name again?
Stanley Sanderson.
Stanley Sanderson. This got to be like the most disgusting guy in the world.
Oh yeah, and I can see he's covering his face in this picture, but I can just tell he's just a disgusting man.
Has he got a mugshot up somewhere?
Probably. His hair is awful.
No, I mean, I can't imagine, like, in theory, if I were to describe the worst person, right? Mm-hmm. The most repulsive human being I could think of, it would be a child sex offender who is also just so morbidly obese that they cannot get to court to get into a prison cell.
I would envision Hitler, but that's just me.
Yes, it's like Fat Hitler.
Fat Hitler? Did Hitler prey on young children?
Yeah, what was the Hitler Youth, man?
I mean, like sexual.
Who's to say? I mean, he ran his own government. He could have done whatever he wanted.
That's true. But I think mass genocide is a small step above
I guess
pedophilia.
it is arguably worse, yes.
But that is in no way me saying that pedophilia is a good thing.
Right.
That is still like number 2 on the worst things ever.
Yeah. It's like when you're like, wow, that star over there is really far away. And the other guy's like, yeah, but that star is further away. It's like, okay, yeah, but they're both so impossibly far away that it doesn't really matter how far away either of them are. It's just like we're just getting degrees of useless at this point.
Tuscan, have you heard about this this push to bring pedophilia into the LGBTQ community?
Yes, I have, and I don't support it.
No.
Let me tell you
shouldn't.
why.
I'm going to give my opinion, and I assume it's the same as yours, and I'm going to tell people to agree with this opinion.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to like normalize a certain type of sexuality, and I don't want to discriminate against people who are getting into relationships between two consenting adults. But where I draw the line is two consenting adults. Over the age of 18, everybody's in agreement. Everybody knows what they're getting into. Society has decided, and the people who are using their older, the fact that they're older to take advantage of younger people and call that love, I don't know, man. I don't think it's right.
It's not.
Call me old-fashioned. Call me controversial. I don't think that's right.
Good thing we didn't choose the same story.
Yeah, no. I could tell you what my story is.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm interested.
It also has
intrigued.
to do with a terrible person going to jail. This is out of Brighton, which I don't know what state that's in. Interesting.
Classic journalism right here.
Michigan. Brighton, Michigan. This woman was a nanny who decided that she wanted a little bit of attention, wanted to get people to hear about her, and wanted a little bit of extra cash. And I think you might have heard about this before. I think Philip DeFranco actually might have covered this story before, so because it sounds familiar.
I haven't been listening to the news other than what I've been reading for this show for the past week and a half. So
I don't blame you. Every headline's just been Brett Kavanaugh and what new scandal has arisen about him.
I mean, I am just saying that because I've not had the time. So
no, yeah,
I've been super busy.
I'm not saying you're doing it as a pointed reason. I'm just saying you haven't missed much. But PDS would have covered this a long time ago because this woman just got sentenced. She was sentenced to 28 and a half months to 15 years for pleading guilty last month to larceny by false pretenses. And larceny by false pretenses means you did something or said something and extorted money out of people. She was faking breast cancer.
Oh yeah, I did hear about this a long time ago. Yeah,
was
this the one from? I thought this was from Australia. I think that was the Philip DeFranco coverage.
Ooh, well, Brighton
somebody
might
did
also
that.
be an Australia town.
Yeah, that could be.
Journalism, boy howdy. Either way, point of the story being. Oh, yeah, I bet WWJ is a place in... I'm sorry, guys, I don't know where Brighton is. I think it might be Australia.
Hey, anything that's not from America, where is it?
Yeah, I want to say it's in Australia. So anyway, the point of the story being she extorted people out of $30,000, lying that she had breast cancer.
She was like a vlogger, right?
This story talks about a nanny. Who, she had a GoFundMe page. Her name was Candace Strang, from Brighton, and she had a GoFundMe page to which nearly 400 people were donating. She raised about $30,000, and she's had to pay out more than $19,000 back in restitution towards these people. But man. What a terrible thing to do, right?
Yeah.
It's not quite as bad as the other guy. This it's a tough one to follow, that guy, I feel
It's a closer star, but it's still a far star nonetheless.
It's like Proxima Centauri.
Mm-hmm.
For all you star nerds out there who know where that is.
Shout out to all the star nerds. Stars are not a sponsor.
As its name Proxima might suggest, it's close. Where was I going with this?
She's just an awful person.
It's interesting what she says here in her apologies. She said, I will forever live with the shame and guilt of my crime, and I'm sincerely sorry to all my victims. Which is, I don't know about victims. It's like I don't know how I feel about this at this point. So let's say I think this woman has breast cancer. and I pay her $100. And then I find out she doesn't. I'm definitely going to be like upset that I gave her that $100, but and I would expect that to be paid back. But I'm like, whatever. It's just money, but it's another thing to make me feel a certain thing for you and feel bad and do whatever. Mm-hmm. And now I just know you're just out there just to get attention. I mean, she's not even. The whole story kind of centers around the fact that she wasn't even looking for extra cash, really. She's like, she did this just because she wanted attention.
Wow.
Yeah. And
well, I don't know if I've talked about this before or even to you. My father, who is an airline pilot, says that there are many people who get on priority seating because there's like, say, 8 or 9 wheelchairs that go into the plane, and then when the plane lands, there's like 3 coming off.
Yeah.
So it's usually just people taking advantage of people with a disability to be better treated for themselves, and then they get off the plane along with everybody else, and they don't wait until like somebody comes and helps them. Which is awful.
No, it is a bad thing to do, but I'm not gonna lie. Once I get to the point in my life where I look like an old man who needs a wheelchair, you best believe I'm gonna be riding around on a rascal scooter all the time. Like I'm going to be that guy. I will take advantage of people's sympathy for me. Mm-hmm. Even though, like, I won't say I have something wrong with me. I'll just let people assume that there's something wrong with me. You know what I mean?
I just want a cane, and I want it to be pimped out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I want like an ivory pommel cane. But one of those ivory things that's been around since like the 1800s. I don't want any new elephants to die, but there is ivory already in the world, and
yes,
I want to have that canes. Ivory.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, listen, I don't condone the killing of elephants for any reason, and especially not for ivory.
But if the animal's already skinned, let's use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you come to a potluck and you're like, oh, I'm a vegetarian. It's like, but do you like meat? And they're like, well, yeah, but I just don't believe in, killing animals. I'm like, the animal's dead, man. It's died a long time ago. Mm-hmm. It's already prepared and delicious right here.
I think their point is the long game. Like, the reason why people people have stopped drinking a lot of milk because they think it's bad for them, which it very well could be. And then now the dairy industry is struggling.
Well, and also there's a huge rise of nut milk and stuff like that, which is supposed to be way better for you. Yeah, you got like your almond milks and your what's the one that's like on the rise right now? It's
I don't know, cashew milk. Or coconut or there's rice
I've heard,
milk.
I listen to Ear Biscuits from time to time, the Rhett and Link podcast, and they got a sponsorship from Oatly, which is not a sponsor of ours, but
not a sponsor.
They're an oat milk brand that is apparently really good, or they say it's good, but they're also getting paid for it, so who knows if it's actually tasty. But I tend to trust them. They're nice guys. Well, Todd, you got another story for me?
Yeah, I do. I can here. I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't. Oh, now I remember it. I didn't remember it, and now I completely remember it. Okay, so.
What are you going from memory?
I was, but now I'm not.
Nice.
Now I have it right in front of me. It was a gas station in Jacksonville, right? And this gas station had is close to a lab by Quest Diagnostics. It's within walking distance of Quest Diagnostics and a LabCorp. Both companies that offer drug testing facilities. And so then like they're collecting urine samples, and apparently this man in this Jacksonville gas station is so upset because there would be a regular occurrence of people coming into the gas station using the microwave to microwave their urine and then leave. And he was like, don't microwave your urine. This is for food use. And then somebody was like, well, where's the sign for that? So now he has sign on the microwave that says only for food use, do not warm urine. And
Wow.
So that picture has become infamous,
Yes.
understandably.
Yes.
And so I just think it's really funny that people have to be told not to warm their urine in a public microwave.
You know what's interesting about that, though? And even though urine is gross and it smells terrible and you should never ingest it.
Unless you're going to get dehydrated. Did you know?
That's right.
Real quick. Oh, actually, continue, and then I have something to say.
Well, urine is sterile. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is that what you were also going to say?
No.
Okay.
I was going to say that I learned recently that if you have the choice between soda, your own urine, and the blood of birds, you drink the
Why
blood
would I have
of
that
birds.
choice?
I don't know. I think it was the blood of birds. It was definitely the blood of something, and I'm pretty sure it was birds. So
Birds have
if
water
you have
and blood?
Yeah, they have. Well, if you drink their blood over the other two, you are not going to be dehydrated as much as if you were going to drink. Soda is the worst for you. It will dehydrate you completely.
That sounds right.
Urine is fine, but it still will have long-term effects. It'll hold you over, but it's not gonna.
Yeah, there's too much salt.
Yeah, it's not gonna do.
It's real salty.
The best to help you. But if you're in an emergency situation and that's the only thing you can have, then by all means drink your urine. I support you.
I condone drinking urine on this
Yes.
show.
Yes,
100%
me as well.
safe, but not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you
so
ever?
there you go. Don't microwave your urine in this guy's convenience store.
Did you ever? I think I watched these videos in high school. They had these videos that they showed us where some guy cooked with his own blood, like cooked meat, and then it was supposed to
I have
be
never seen
very
that.
healthy. Like he
That
just had a little.
seems-
Like they took they drew blood from him, and then he used it for his food, and it was almost like doping, in a way. Like it helped his performance in whatever athletic feat he was going for.
What was he going for?
I don't remember. I just remember that he was eating or he was ingesting his blood.
This seems. Listen, I'm not an expert. I never claimed to be, and that's kind of the point of the show. We're not experts. Don't take our advice.
We're idiots.
Yeah. I would recommend against doing that. I mean, that seems unsafe, right?
Tuscan.
Unless but it's your. I guess if it's your own blood.
Yeah,
then
it's
what's
not
going to
hurt you.
I mean,
Drinking other people's blood gives you
thumb.
their own power. You get to consume their blood, and you will get their power. That's the rule.
But you also get their STDs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
use with caution.
Fair.
Get yourself tested.
Man, vampires must be at a. Do you think vampires ask people if they're clean yet before sucking their blood?
Yeah, they better. You know, that'd be a good ad campaign for like an AIDS
Getting tested, yeah.
something or yeah, STD test. That'd be really good. Like the vampire comes over and he's like about to bite your neck. It's like, hey, curiosity. Are you positive for anything? Like, have you been tested? And he's just like super nice about it. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I got tested the other day. I'm clean. And he's like, okay, cool. And then he
just
like he like
violently
turns into a
sucks all of
monster.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, speaking of monsters, I have a story about an 8-year-old girl in Sweden. And this 8-year-old girl, this is actually a nice story. This 8-year-old girl was out on a family holiday with her family, on this family holiday, and she was walking around in a lake when she stumbled upon a Viking-era sword that is about 1,500 years old.
Dope.
Right? So, my theory is, she's the Queen of Sweden, right?
She has
I mean,
to
that's
be,
how
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Was
how
it
European...
in a stone? Did she pull it out of the stone?
No, it's like the King Arthur thing where he found it in the lake.
Oh. I thought he pulled it out of a stone.
No, remember from Monty Python when it was like, what, 'cause some watery tot threw a sword at you? You're supposed to be king. That whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's how that whole thing worked. So there's like a lady of the lake, and she handed him Excalibur, and like that was his claim.
But there's
to
the whole
throne.
lore of pulling the sword from the stone, and that's King Arthur.
I don't think that's King Arthur. I think that's something else. I think that's something else.
Almost positive it's King Arthur, but
No, because I mean, there's a sword in the stone at Disney World, right?
yeah.
What's that from?
Dude, they even made a movie called like King Arthur, and it was all about the sword and the stone. It bombed, but it was all about that.
I'm pretty sure the original like Anglican legend has him like receiving the sword from the lake, and it's some sort of message from God or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But
I'm looking at this because you quoted Monty Python as a source. I'm quoting this movie that bombed in 2017 called King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. And,
Listen.
and there is definitely screen caps of King Arthur played by Charlie Hunnam of Sons of Anarchy fame, trying to pull a sword from a stone.
What did I say about being experts, Todd?
That we are definitely experts, and everything that we say is
Damn right.
is gospel.
Damn right. And if we're going to cite anything, it's going to be a movie. That's the only thing we know, apparently.
That's true. That's the only thing we are capable of citing.
Yeah.
So
we can go back. Like I can remember the exact back and forth between that guy and the peasant in Monty Python.
you know what I like about our show? I like,
What do you like
that
about our
people
show?
can listen to our show and know that there's probably some inconsistencies. Whereas in any other show, they're going to pass it off as it's like it's truth, and then they're overall uninformed. You know,
That's
at least
right.
people know what they're getting with us.
Yeah, no, we start the show with a disclaimer. I mean,
Yeah.
the title is a disclaimer.
Yeah,
These people don't know what they're talking about.
yeah. Because we know nothing, we know everything.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know who does know everything, Todd?
Who?
That's Carl Westberg. And he is, of course, the sponsor of our show today, making everything happen for us. He set everything up, and he is not letting us eat until we have made sufficient content for him.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, speaking of content, was there anything more to the little girl in Sweden with the sword?
Nope.
That was it.
I mean, no, it's in a museum now.
Oh, okay.
This belongs in a museum. Yeah, no, apparently it was super well preserved. It's 1,500 years old, and they did like the museum people set up an additional, what do you call it, survey of the lake or excavation or whatever you want to call it, and they found another like ancient brooch or something from a similar era. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff. You know, I it's interesting to see.
And she was 9?
Viking stuff. She was 8.
8. Wow.
Yep. And the sword is pretty janky looking.
The sword
But,
isn't 9. It's a little bit older than that.
Yeah, it's pretty old. It's pretty old. But it's in its time it was probably a nice looking sword. You know.
Yeah, probably.
What's really long?
Mm.
Like a big old Viking long sword.
Tuscan, would you ever
Those
like
people must have
a
been scary.
Viking longsword?
Love one, yeah. I know you want a Viking funeral. We've talked about this
we've
on
talked
the
about
show.
this on the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How long do you want your sword? I'm going to get you a sword someday. When we have a manor.
Well, I feel like, we talked about the manor yesterday. I feel like if I were to ever have a sword, and it was like an actual sword, I would want to go like to a sword maker and have him craft one based on like my height and my weight and my balance.
Yeah.
And make it like exactly perfect for me. for no other reason than I think that would be cool. I would never use it in combat because how stupid do you have to be? But my God, have a perfectly balanced like long sword that I can easily heft in my hand. And
I can kind of see you with a double-sided axe though.
Yeah,
a double-edged axe.
You know what I do want to get? I want to get one of those like kukris from the Dothraki have in Game of Thrones.
Like
I've been rewatching that show.
It's kind of like a sai. Like it.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like curved. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like a scythe. A sai is what Raphael uses in the Ninja Turtles. It's like the 3-pointy.
Oh, so
thing.
it's a scythe.
Yeah, a scythe is a farming tool.
Yes, that
and
cuts.
Also with.
Yes, correct.
It's like that, but without the long.
But okay, so you want a Dothraki weapon?
Yeah, it'd be nice. You know, I'd be able to attack people from horseback.
I don't understand why anyone would want one of those ball and chains as like their weapon of choice, like a mace.
It feels unwieldy, right?
Yeah. But then again, our good friend Carl Westberg does have one of them, and he's
an
very
expert.
talented. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
Dude
art
could take
seeing
you down.
him. Yeah, I've seen him wield that and just take oppressors down and just beat their faces in with the ball at the end of the chain. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
He's a master
he always
of
goes
all,
for the legs.
of all fighting arts.
Dude goes for the legs, and he likes to wrap that chain around your ankles, really bring you down. And that's the way to do it, you know? And then once you're there, I mean, he's got you in full submission mode. You either surrender or die.
Yeah. And while he's bringing them down, he's also bringing us up.
That's right. He's bringing us up to the likes of social media. So if you want to check us out on social media, we're at Twitter at Opinions That Suck, SUK. On Instagram, we are Idiotic Opinions. And if you want to talk to us, shoot us an idea for something to cover, just say hi. You can email us at studiosvolatile@gmail.com.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And,
you got anything else, Todd?
Hey, I just want to thank all of our listeners.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
It's
Sticking
been a
around to the end.
great time. If you have if you have any, not even just stories, but just any suggestions you'd like to hear us talk about on this show, any constructive criticism, send it our way.
Or if you have a better idea for a show and you're like, hey, maybe you guys should just play Dungeons and Dragons over the phone sometime.
Yeah.
We're willing to entertain ideas.
Of course, always. Always.
So.
And with that, we'll sign off. We'll log off 10 and 10. Join us next time when Tuscan Fairfield finds the Holy Grail.
You've got a Holy Grail?
You've got a Holy Grail.
We're gonna cut out those references there at the end, Todd. I'm not gonna. We're gonna go ahead and not use those.
You've been listening to Idiots with Opinions. Tune in next week